Meeting of Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. This council meeting is being convened by electronic means as authorized under Part 14 of the Procedure Bylaw. City of Vancouver electronic meetings, as such, council members and the public may participate in person or by electronic means. If a council member attending by electronic means loses the connection during the voting process, team members are available to get you back online quickly while the voting process is suspended. The team members' contact information has been circulated to you. Video of council members speaking, presentations, and vote results will be projected on the live stream when available. Council members are reminded that in accordance with sections 14.13 of the Procedure Bylaw, members must enable their video to confirm quorum. In the case of an emergency where we need to evacuate the building, we have lots of firefighters here to help us. I'd like to direct your attention to the exits. There are 2 exits beyond the glass doors and to the left. If the glass doors are obstructed, please direct your attention to the 4 exits in this chamber. Please use the stairs, do not use the elevator. I'd also like to highlight that we have a defibrillator located at the end of the hallway outside of the council chamber. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people, and we thank them for having cared for this land and look forward to working with them in partnership as we continue to build this great city together. I also want to take a moment to recognize the immense contribution of the City of Vancouver team members who work hard every day to help make our city an incredible place to live, work, and play. City Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Acting Mayor Fry in the chair. Mayor Sim has a leave of absence for personal reasons all day. Councillor Carr. Councillor Kirby-Young. Councillor Dominato. Councillor Bly. Councillor Boyle. Councillor Montague.
Present.
Councillor Klassen. Councillor Meisner. And Councillor Zhou.
Present.
You have quorum, Acting Mayor Fry.
Thanks, Clerk. All right, I'd like to begin with an acknowledgement, the National Day of Remembrance of the Battle of Vimy Ridge. Today, we commemorate the historic Battle of Vimy Ridge, France, a pivotal moment in Canadian history when on Easter morning, April 9th, 1917, Canadian soldiers bravely advanced to capture the strategic Vimy Ridge from German forces. The Battle of Vimy Ridge was a strategic victory symbolizing Canadian unity and resilience on the global stage. In commemorating this historic event, we honor the sacrifices made by those who served and reflect on the enduring legacy of courage and determination they left behind, including the valiant soldiers from Vancouver. Today, we stand united in paying homage to their enduring legacy. Their bravery and sacrifice will forever be remembered. Now I'd like to make a proclamation for Eid al-Fitr. I'm honored to welcome members of the Muslim community to today's council meeting and present a proclamation which acknowledges that tomorrow, April 10th, marks the last day of Ramadan, known as Eid al-Fitr. The literal Arabic translation of Eid means feast or festival, where thousands of people from Vancouver's Muslim community and millions of Muslims around the world will wake early to perform a special prayer known as Salat al-Eid. The Salat al-Eid is a prayer of gratefulness to Allah for blessing people with the month of Ramadan and giving people the ability to do works of service and charity during the holy month. Following morning prayer, the day is filled with people exchanging greetings and giving to charity. Over several days, families and friends gather to enjoy festive meals, exchange gifts, and spread happiness. Eid Mubarak to all who are celebrating. My fellow members of council will now join me and we will read through the proclamation for Eid al-Fitr. So, councillors, if we want to come on up and do the thing. We're going to start over here.
Office of the Mayor, City of Vancouver, British Columbia, proclamation, Eid al-Fitr. Whereas the City of Vancouver is home to a thriving Muslim community, which is estimated to be almost 18,000.
And whereas Eid al-Fitr is the Islamic holiday that marks the end of Ramadan, and it's a time to express gratitude for the blessing received during the month of fasting.
And whereas the celebration of Eid al-Fitr typically begins with the sighting of the new moon.
And whereas it is a day of forgiveness, compassion, and generosity, where Muslims strive to help those in need and share their blessings with others.
And whereas on the day of Eid, Muslims wake up early in the morning and perform a special prayer known as Salat al-Eid. After the prayer, the day is filled with people exchanging greetings and giving to charity. Throughout the day, families and friends gather together to enjoy festive meals, exchange gifts, and spread happiness.
And whereas Vancouver is proud of its diverse community representing many different traditions and faiths.
Now, therefore, I, Pete Fry, acting mayor of the city of Vancouver, on behalf of Mayor Ken Sim and Vancouver City Council, do hereby proclaim April 10th, 2024 as Eid al-Fitr in the city of Vancouver. Now, if our friends would like to come up and receive the proclamation, and if you'd like to say a few words, you're more than welcome to.
We would, in Ramadan, the day is spent. Thank you, everyone. In the month of Ramadan, the day is spent fasting, and the night is spent in prayer. So normally we'll have a bigger turnout, but most people are up till 5 in the morning doing their worship, then sleeping in the morning, as our faith tradition is to really our Creator, and that we're really grateful for giving. So just come. We appreciate the Vancouver's diversity, all working together for a better
All right, so plan for the day. Any comments on agenda items can be sent to council using the web form on the city's website. The link to that form will be posted on X at Van City Clerk. I also want to note the City of Vancouver's longstanding commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, including the utmost respect for all genders. And I remind the City Council that when addressing speakers and the city's team members, we will avoid using gendered honorifics and will instead refer to the person by first and last name, role, or title. Today, we have 3 administrative items, in-camera motion, adoption of minutes, and matters adopted on consent. We have 7 reports and 3 referral reports. We have 27 bylaws and 3 administrative motions. Notice of council member motions, new business, and inquiries or other matters. The plan for today, break at noon for lunch, followed by the in-camera meeting, return at 3 p.m. to continue to deal with the remainder of the agenda. Adjourn or recess by 5 p.m. as we have a public hearing at 6 p.m. If we recess, the reconvene date is Thursday, April 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Council is required to meet in camera later this week. The reasons and authority under the Vancouver Charter are listed in the updated agenda. Would someone like to move a motion to go in camera later this week? Moved by Bly, seconded by Dominato. All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. The motion carries unanimously. Minutes. Minutes 1 are from the Special Council Business License Hearing meeting on March 5th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Would someone like to move adoption? Moved by Klassen. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Kirby Young. All those in favor say yay. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Minutes 2 are from council meeting on March 12th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, would someone like to move adoption? Moved by Joe, seconded by Dominato. All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Minutes 3 are from public hearing on March 12th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Would someone like to move adoption? Moved by Meisner, seconded by Dominato. All those in favor say yay. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Minutes 4 are from council meeting following the Standing Committee on City Finance and Services on March 13th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? None. Would someone like to move adoption? Moved by Councillor Meisner, seconded by Councillor Klassen. All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Minutes 5 are from the Special Council approved bylaw meeting on March 19th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Someone like to move adoption? Moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Joe. All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Motions adopted on consent. Council will now consider matters adopted on consent. Note that Report 5, CHIP recalibration, will need to be approved before Report 4, CHIP grants, as recommendations in Report 4 are contingent on the approval of the recalibration of the Community Housing Incentive Program in Report 5. Already makes sense to that. Can we have a motion in that case to vary the agenda to hear Report 5 before Report 4? Moved by Councillor Dominato, seconded by Boyle. All those in favor say yay. This is to vary the agenda. Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. We have reports 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and referral reports 1 to 3 on the consent agenda for council's consideration. We will hold reports 4 and 7 to hear from speakers. Council may adopt the recommendations for reports 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and referral reports 1 to 3 on consent. Okay, I was going to ask if anybody wanted to hold anything. I'm not seeing anybody wanting to hold any items, so moved by Dominato, seconded by Carr. Before we get there, though, does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on the consent items? Seeing none. Okay, so that is moved by Dominato, seconded by Carr to have reports 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and referral reports 1 to 3 moved by consent. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, that carries unanimously. So the following have been approved on consent. Sorry, I have to read this out. So, cultural grants, or 2024 cultural grants, balance of operating capacity. Item number 2, 2024 animal welfare grant. Item number 3, uplifting Chinatown action plan grants. Item number 5, approval of the community housing incentive program recalibration. And item number 6, approval of the form of development for CD1 bylaw 2105 West 32nd Avenue and 4615 to 4701 Arbutus Street. And referral reports 1, 2, 3, which is CD1 number 1, CD1 rezoning 5755 to 5791 Oak Street and 1008 West 41st Avenue. Item 2, CD1 rezoning 7525 Canby Street, and item 3, CD1 rezoning 1302 to 1318 East 12th Avenue are approved on consent. Okay. So we have, bear with me a second. Okay, clerk. Sorry, item 4. Okay. A lot of pages here. Oh, I see. Okay, you varied the agenda. It's varied in the, yeah, okay. Sorry, okay. Item number 4, Community Housing Incentive Program CHIP grants. Does any member wish to declare conflict of interest on this item? Seeing none. All right. This item does not have a staff presentation. Council members, you will have up to 5 minutes to ask questions to team members. Are there any questions? Okay. Seeing none, we will now hear from registered speakers for this report. Public speakers should state whether they are in support or opposition of the recommendations and may only speak once. I will also ask if the speakers are residents of Vancouver if it is not noted on the speaker list. Our first speaker is Aaron Seeley. Hi, Aaron.
Thank you. Good morning, Councillor Fry, council members. My name is Erin Seeley. I'm the CEO of YWCA Metro Vancouver. I use the pronouns she and her. I am in favor of this motion, and I'm also a resident of the City of Vancouver. I'm happy to have a few minutes to speak to why the motion with respect to the Slow Cannon Hastings project and the CHIP grant that will enable 70 units of new, affordable, permanently affordable housing is so important. YWCA is an affordable housing provider. This will make more than 300 units in our portfolio with the addition of this new building, primarily second stage and permanent housing communities where women and families can live without the constant fear of eviction and unmanageable rent increases. We're aiming to increase our role due to the urgent need for more housing across several stages of the housing continuum, including with this project and below market rents or rental 100 rents. This allows opportunities for participants in our programs and members of the public to move through the housing continuum and to serve more people with a special focus continually on women, gender diverse individuals, and their children. In this building, we will also be housing singles, two-income families, and importantly, multi-generational families, among others, to build a strong and diverse community. Building an inclusive community is one of the pillars of all of our housing projects. Women-only housing is essential. As you may know, it is part of the National Housing Strategy to focus on specifically women-led housing. Women and children are identified as a group that's disproportionately impacted by housing need, and we see repeatedly data showing that child poverty is highest, especially among single-parent families, which are predominantly led by women. Our housing waitlist reflects the scarcity of housing options for single moms who need to care for their children, who need to find childcare close by, maybe have a part-time job, maybe pursue employment opportunities or education. And suitability, safety, stability is key for this population. This building at Slocan and Hastings not only will serve a broader cross-section of the community, it will continue to offer deeply affordable units into the future, not only for single moms and their children, but for others in the community, bringing stability to their families and providing the supports through programs such as the YWCA programs that they may attend to create brighter futures. I want to speak for a moment about the partnerships in this project. Byron Chard is here from Chard Development, and we are so grateful for the partnership with the Chard family. We've been working with David and Byron since summer 2016. We have a strong and values-aligned relationship. As a family-owned business with similar vision and values, Chard has understood the challenges that we face as affordable housing providers. They've supported YWCA to continuously improve our operating model and to deliver high-quality housing communities. BC Housing is an equity partner in this project. They've been critical to making this happen quickly. The ability for YWCA to also bring equity through private donations is essential to keep the rents affordable, and the grant with the City of Vancouver will be essential to make this project happen. Occupancy is now. It is so exciting to think of the 70 units being occupied later this summer. And the alignment with the City of Vancouver's Rental 100 policy, without the funding from the CHIP grant, the project may not be able to remain affordable permanently. This funding will allow us to continue to offer affordability and even consider increasing it over time. So imagine a landlord being able to reduce rents. Ensuring the rent affordability, enabling this project to happen quickly. In addition to providing low end of market units, YWC is committed to providing 10% of the units without subsidy at the lowest rent possible at the RGI level for the deepest affordability. So with the contribution, we can make an immediate impact. These will be 70 beautiful new permanently affordable units close to schools, close to amenities and other health and community services. Without the City of Vancouver CHIP grant, this project would not be possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and that is the end of our speaker list. Sure, actually, yes, okay, so moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Boyle. And council members, is there any discussion? And
Chair.
Councillor Kirby-Young on the.
Chair, I have a point of procedure. Do we not have the opportunity to ask questions of staff first?
I
believe that is
yes,
the
I think so,
procedure,
yeah.
right?
Would you like to do that before?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I have a couple questions for staff on this, just looking for clarification. And the first one is with respects to the the project 3, the YWCA one. And I wonder if we can just get further clarity with respect to the affordability level. It was very explicit on the other 3 projects in terms of the level. I appreciate this one might be at a different phase. And I know that the purchase was built by private sector and is being acquired, so 70 units and 7 at deeply subsidized rents. I know the speaker spoke to it, but can we get a little bit more insight into what's expected for affordability here? I wasn't clear from the report. Or are the majority going to be rented at market rents, but then the speaker just mentioned rent geared to income, so.
Ryan Bigelow, Managing Director of Non-Market Housing Development Operations. So the affordability target here with the CHIP contribution is to align with the rental 100 rates at the initial tenancies, but then on future tenancies as they turn over, they will maintain those rates through perpetuity for the project. What the Y is also committing to do through fundraising is to enhance the affordability over time. So if financially viable, they'll continue to offer lower and lower rents through the life of the building. So we're just securing the top end for now, and then in hopes of creating affordability.
Can I just reflect that back in simple terms and not planning jargon just for the public? So you say align with rental 100 rates, it says in the report will not exceed the DCL bylaw.
Yep.
So is that being rented at market initially and then retained because they're not going to be subject to increases?
They will escalate at a prescribed RTA rate. So when units turn over, they're not up to the prevailing market rates.
They're not adjusted to market, but they start initially at market. Yep. Okay, so that's hence the becoming more affordable over time.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to get clarity on. Thank you. And then my second one is around source of funding, because I know it references the capital plan. I'm just wondering if you can talk about the intersection with the empty homes tax. And I know this is one of the first years, now that we've had several years of that, we're able to predict that funding and include it in the budget. So has any of this come from empty homes tax, or is this all tax funded?
Yeah, our CHIP program is primarily funded through empty homes tax. It funnels through the capital planning process, but that is the primary source for this program.
Okay, but there's expenditures because we're increasing the funding above and beyond EHT, or is there an incremental spend above EHT funding?
This is part of the secured EHT funding, and so allocation of that gets flowed through the capital plan and approved as part of the budget. So it's not an incremental increase, it is part of the budget in the capital plan.
Okay, so sorry, maybe my brain might be a little jet lagged this morning, but just to be clear, are we spending more on the CHIP program than we are taking in on EHT?
No.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Councillor Kirby-Young. Okay, seeing no further questions, we do have a mover and a seconder. So I'm just going to move now to call the vote. Clerk, can you take us to a voting screen, please? Council, please register your vote on the voting panel. Okay, and that passes with none opposed. Thanks, everybody. Okay, moving on to item number 7. Purchase of PFAS-free bunker gear. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this item? Seeing none, this item does not have a staff presentation. Council members, you have up to 5 minutes to ask questions to team members. Are there any questions? Council, any questions? Seeing Councillor Carr. Councillor Carr?
Yes, thanks very much, Chair. I just had a simple question, which is wondering what the timeline is on the receipt of gear. I'm interested in knowing when we'll have our firefighters protected with this new gear, if we have any sense of that.
Thank you, Councillor Karen Fry, General Manager and Fire Chief, Vancouver Fire Rescue. The anticipated date, if we get approval today, will be our entire department will have their gear in the first quarter of 2025. It will start rolling in the next probably 4 to 6 months and be completed hopefully in January. Specifically, we are at the front of the line in North America for this, so we are holding spots on the production.
Congratulations on being that front of line. That's great. Good to hear.
Thank you.
That's it for my questions.
Okay, great, thanks. Seeing no further questions from council, we'll now hear from registered speakers for this report. Public speakers should state whether they are in support or opposition to the recommendations and may only speak once. I will ask if the speakers, if they are residents of Vancouver, if it's not noted on the speakers list. Our first speaker is Lee Lax, Vice President, Vancouver Firefighters, IAFF, Local 18. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Council. It's a great honor today to speak on behalf of IAFF Local 18 President Katrina Davison and our 894 members in support of the recommendations in this report to become the first city in North America to put the safety of their firefighters first and begin eliminating the use of the gear containing polyfluoroalkyl substances, commonly known as PFAS, a chemical known to have strong links to cancer. Cancer is one of the #1 killers of firefighters and is directly attributed to the work they do protecting their communities and the many exposures they face every day as a modern firefighter. Reflecting on what I was going to say to you here today, I was reminded of brother, retired Battalion Chief Bruce Tebbett. Bruce passed away March 27, 2023, at the early age of 62, after faithfully serving this community for 35 years. Bruce passed away just 5 years after he retired from this job from an occupational cancer. Firefighters in Vancouver and BC have been ringing the alarm about cancer in firefighting for many years. 19 years ago, led by Vancouver firefighter Rob Hall, who later lost his life to a recognized occupational cancer. We began to build a list of cancers that have been recognized by WorkSafe BC as occupational cancers. Today, there are 18 cancers recognized by WorkSafe BC regulations as presumptive diseases for firefighters. This is a critical piece of legislation that offers very valuable support to our members that we currently have off work battling cancer. A decision today to support the replacement of our firefighting gear will be another example of your leadership to put firefighter health and safety first. This city's choice to ease the workload faced by firefighters by implementing the growth plan in 2019, the move to a modern firefighting schedule in 2021, and this council's 2024 funding commitments to add an additional fire truck and crew and provide funding for a staff mental health professional are all examples we should acknowledge as the right support for firefighters. We would like to acknowledge the International Association of Firefighters, its leadership, and incredible staff who have worked tirelessly to make known the hazards of PFAS-containing gear and helped us advocate for this change. Thank you, Chief Fry and your team, for joining us in this fight. We are truly becoming leaders in the fire service today. Getting us out of this gear is one of the many steps that will help us in our continued work to improve the health and wellness of our members, your firefighters. Lastly, and most importantly, a heartfelt thank you to Mayor Sim for the time he took to meet with firefighters and your recognition that when we could get firefighters out of this gear, we should. Today is the day. Your support and the support of all of council is appreciated by your firefighters. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee, and thank you for your service. Next we have on the list Sean S. Wallace Chang speaking in person. Sean S. Wallace Chang. Clerks, any update on Sean S. Wallace Chang? Nope. Okay. Well then, I believe, seeing nobody hustling in the lobby there, we will move on. So, okay. Moved by Councillor Kirby-Young, seconded by Councillor Carr. Council members, is there any oh, gosh. Should have looked at the list. Okay. There is discussion. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say I really appreciate this report and the words of Lee Lax representing Vancouver Fire and IAFF. It's sobering when you read the report and it says that 34 members have died from work-related cancer since 2017. That's 34 firefighters, human beings, sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, who put their lives on the line every day. And it's I remember when we had Captain Steve Letourneau, who came to Chambers, and there was a sea of support from our firefighters. In the council chambers, it was full through the third floor, down the steps, and out the front doors of City Hall. And so to say that this has an impact today in taking this vote is an understatement. Kudos to all of you who have fought for 19 years to make this happen. It is noteworthy. And it is a privilege and an honor to be able to vote and support this undertaking. And I'm incredibly proud of our fire department for championing this and to be on the council that gets to ensure that hopefully Vancouver leads the way and that this becomes a standard across the continent and for all firefighters who put themselves in harm's way every day. So thank you for all that you do. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Councillor Kirby-Young. Councillor Klassen.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I've never heard the expression occupational cancer before, and that's just incredibly shocking to me. The fact that there is an identified situation that our firefighters face. So, first of all, I just want to thank Chief Fry and her team, Lee, and of course all the members of IAF 18 for the incredible work they do, and appreciate the acknowledgement of Mayor Sim in his leadership on this one. I confess I was taken aback when the mayor would refer to the outer gear literally causing cancer, which is just unbelievable. I just have, I feel as though, and I have a very good friend who is one of our firefighters, an IAF member who is currently off on sick leave because he has prostate cancer. And so I am really resolved to make sure that we redouble our efforts here. This is an incredibly important step. I won't ask today the number of other things that we can do, but I just want to make it clear that this conversation is a live one, and we should be absolutely continuing to move forward to do whatever we can, which is deal with some of the occupational and environmental risks that the members face. We know that not only when they're going into burning buildings, there are threats, but there are also just when they come back in the buildings that they're staying and sleeping in, and we have to make sure that the environment is clean and not contributing to their poor health. So extremely pleased that we're doing this, but I also feel as though this is the beginning of a much larger effort. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Councillor Klassen. Councillor Zhou.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. So I was also, my heart really broke when I read this report. It says in Canada, 94% of firefighters dies due to occupational cancer. My heart really heavy after seeing this report. I think this is the least we can do to support our firefighters who put their life on the line to protect us. And those forever chemicals has no mercy, causing cancer and stealing our firefighters from their loved ones too soon. But today we have a chance to change that narrative. We have the opportunity to make a stand for those who have dedicated their life to keep us safe. By approving this report, we are not just investing the equipment, we are investing every life of those who rush into dangers where others flee. Let's be the beacon of hope for our firefighters. Let's show them their sacrifice do not go unnoticed. Let's ensure every time they gear up, they are not just protected from the flames, they are also protected from the silent killers within their gear. We can be the first in lead this in North America, setting a precedent for the firefighters' safety and well-being. Let's do what is right for those who do what is right for us to protect us every single day. So I'm going to 100% support this report. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Councillor Zhou. Councillor Meisner.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chair. And just echoing the comments so far. When I first got on council, I was shocked to learn this, that the gear was actually responsible for causing occupational cancers with firefighters. I think everyone knows that you have a very dangerous job and it's a heroic job. And to learn that you doing your job and the gear you need to wear is actually is adding more risks to your life. We have a responsibility to take action, and I'm glad that there's technology out there that, in terms of new gear, that will mitigate this cancer risk. So this is a no-brainer to support, and feels really good to be able to fund something that's actually going to save people's lives. And as Councillor Zhou just mentioned, set a precedent for other fire departments across North America and hopefully around the world to also adopt this gear, which will save further lives. So very, very happy to support this and just want to thank everybody for advocating for this, bringing it to the public's attention, to council's attention, and also to Chief Karen Fry for all your leadership on this, IAFF for your leadership as well, and Mayor Sim for, I know personally getting involved in this as well. So thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Just before I make any comments, I just have a point of information through you, Chair, to perhaps both Lee Lax, who of course spoke, and Chief Fry, and that is in regards to the ongoing conversations with the province. I had reviewed some previous comments in March, I think in February, related to the provincial government being asked to ban this type of turnout gear that contains PFAS. Any updates on that advocacy?
I'm going to defer to Vice President Lax because I think the IFF has been doing a lot of that advocacy work through the Green Party.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor. This issue is being faced in many jurisdictions across North America. Currently, there has been a private members bill that has been read in the provincial legislature, identifying the need to eliminate firefighting equipment from firefighting foam to the turnout gear that we wear, not only to protect firefighters, but also in realization that some of these compounds are polluting water and environment. This is a live issue in the province of BC, but at this time I couldn't tell you if legislatively we'll see any progress this year.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you very much. A quick follow-up, Chair, would be through you to the city manager that in anticipating an approval of this report, would there be discussions proactively from our city staff to provincial partners to, as I note that Greater Victoria has sort of not taken the step to invest in alternative gear to keep their firefighters safe. And I suspect that's due to cost. So just, through advocacy, making sure that we're letting the province know that anticipating an approval of this report today is that City of Vancouver is investing in this very important life-saving protective gear. And we need the province's recognition that municipalities are committing to this.
Thanks, through the chair. So in response to the question, certainly I think there's good awareness of the decision that council is contemplating here today and would be, again, presumably approving. I think the union IFF and certainly the chief and her team in conversations with their colleagues, we as staff wouldn't typically reach out to the province in terms of advocating for action towards other municipalities without some direction from council to do that. So I think we will be definitely promoting and making sure everyone's aware of the step that Vancouver is taking here, the rationale for that. We can provide information on costs and so on. I think if council is interested to go further around advocacy, then some direction to staff would be helpful.
Okay, that's really helpful, actually, because we do have a pending, a looming date of June 15th, so perhaps submission to UBCM or something like that. But I do think that we have to recognize that we are investing and we ought to in protective gear that keeps our firefighters safe beyond the time of their career into retirement, so they can enjoy having spent so many years dedicating to the public safety of others. So, that's something that we can commit to. And of course, I know that Mayor Ken Sim is deeply committed to this issue as well. So perhaps through the Mayor's Office partnership, we can pursue greater advocacy, because there are going to be municipalities that cannot afford and invest this type of cost and still require same firefighters in small rural parts of BC are exposed to the same chemicals. So I just want to echo the heartfelt comments of my colleagues today. I'm out of time, spent my time asking questions, but just to echo those heartfelt comments and gratitude for the service of all firefighters. And my heart goes out to the families of those who have passed away due to occupational cancer. It's a real tragedy.
Thanks, Councillor Bly. Councillor Dominato.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the staff and to the leadership of Chief Fry and the IAFF 18 in bringing this forward. Staff of my colleagues have commented on the statistics and the data, but at the end of the day, we're talking about people and human beings. And I was reflecting this morning before coming to council about the fact that when people enter into professions, they knowingly know there's some occupational risk. If you go into military service and serving your country, you go into policing and serving your community, or into fire, that there are hazards and risks with that type of work. But I wondered to myself if many who embarked on becoming firefighters knew that the occupational risk might actually be the equipment that they're wearing to protect themselves in responding to a fire. And so that really struck me as I was reading the report and reflecting on the issue. I'm incredibly grateful that that you've done the research on this as a force, and that you're bringing this forward to council and the support of Mayor Sim and that. But I want to reflect that We make a lot of decisions here at council, and this is one of those ones that just feels like the right thing to do. And it's also tangible. There's a lot of decisions we make here where we don't see the results for some time, or the outputs or the outcomes. This is very real. I know the equipment will be received fairly quickly, and then our members will be able to use it. It brings a lot of meaning in that regard, is that we know it's going to make a difference right away. And so I'm incredibly happy to support this report and the recommendations.
Thank you, Councillor Dominato. Councillor Carr.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of you know that that I'm particularly keen on this move, having lost my brother at the age of 44 as a Burnaby firefighter to a major heart attack on the job. The safety, the health of our firefighters is a passion that I think I can hear all of my fellow councillors speaking to this. It's a passion of all of us. I'm particularly grateful that the Mayor Kim Sim, was a keen supporter of this. The role that IAFF plays in moving this forward diligently, acknowledging that we have Katrina Davidson, the president, in the room as well, and thank you, Lee, for the words too, and the leadership of the department itself. Chief Fry, you are an advocate for the people who work for you, and that is extremely well appreciated. I think what I really love also is the leadership of this department in general. I mean, this is leadership around health and safety, and to become the first firefighting force in North America, to have this gear, yay! And it's going to happen within a year, which is awesome. To have brought in the electric fire truck, to have gone, and Lee, thank you for mentioning it during COVID, to the 24-hour shift, made a really a big difference in the well-being of the people who work to save other people's lives, especially for them and their families. So all of this, the work on mental health, which was also acknowledged by Lee Lax, I'm very proud of this department and the work you've done in sort of paving the way on how we can make firefighting and our firefighting force a healthier, a more vibrant, a leading force that can set direction for other forces around not just North America, but I think the world.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor Boyle.
Thanks. I'll be brief. My colleagues have all said it very well, but just want to echo those thanks for many, many years of advocacy that get us to this point where we get to support your good work and make this shift, and also appreciate the suggestion of us being able to be part of advocacy on a larger scale on this front. So happy to be part of those conversations. But thank you all for pushing for this and bringing it to us.
And I just added myself to the queue to add a couple of comments as well. In reading about this, I was shocked to learn the extent of per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or forever chemicals as they're called. And I appreciate that this is a momentous occasion for the International Association of Firefighters, because there are concurrent lawsuits in Massachusetts and Texas, in New York State, all going after the manufacturers of these turnout gear, DuPont, 3M, big chemical companies that are knowingly putting this moisture and oil resistant chemicals that are also causing cancers. One thing that came up in my research, and I'm wondering if I can ask myself to ask of you, about AFFF, because I also came up with this idea that aqueous film forming foams also include these forever chemicals. And I'm curious if that's part of a larger look at PFAS forever chemicals in the foams that firefighters use, and if that is also recognized as an issue.
Braden Pelche, Assistant Fire Chief for Occupational Health and Safety. Councillor Fry. It's a really good question. We got brought into this about 6 or 7 months ago when we were looking at the PFAS-free bunker gear. It's also something that's in development right now, so we're trying to balance fighting fires and making sure we put those out with also safety. What we've done in consultation with the IFF as well, and Local 18's been a big leader, is we put out minimizing risk to that, to the AAAF. Foam and other things, and we are also a leader in that in North America as well. So by putting in these standards to try and minimize the risk until we can find a replacement, we've been a leader there as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, appreciate that clarity and something for us to be mindful of for sure, because I know that the foam piece is an emergent study, especially entering our water tables, as well as impacts on firefighters who are getting this foam on them as well. Okay. So, seeing no further questions, now going to call the vote. Clerk, can you please take us to a voting screen? Council, please register your vote on the voting panel, and that passes with none in opposition. Great. That completes report number 7. Thank you, Council. Thank you, IAFF, for showing up today. Nice to see you all. Okay, so I think we have gone through our entire agenda. Huh? Bylaws. Okay, item number 12, bylaws. We have 27 bylaws on the agenda for enactment. Council members who were not present for meetings related to public hearing enactment bylaws must confirm that they have reviewed the proceedings of the meeting if they want to vote on the enactment. Bylaws 3 and 4 are from public hearing on March 12, 2024. Councilors Bly, Boyle, Dominato, myself, and Mayor Sim were absent for this item at the public hearing and will need to review the proceedings to be eligible to vote. Councilor Bly, have you received the proceedings? Or reviewed the proceedings? Okay. Councilor Boyle? Councilor Dominato? And I have. And is Mayor Sim present on the line? No? Okay. All right. Bylaw 5 is from public hearing on April 25th, 2023. Councilor Montague and Mayor Sim were absent for this item at the public hearing and will need to review the proceedings to be eligible to vote. Councilor Montague, have you reviewed the proceedings?
I have and I will.
Okay, thank you. Bylaws 6 and 8 are from public hearing on March 12th, 2024. Councilors Bly, Boyle, Dominato, and myself and Mayor Sim were absent for the item at public hearing and will need to review the proceedings to be eligible to vote. Councilor Bly, have you reviewed the proceedings? Councilor Boyle? Councilor Dominato? And I have. Okay, and bylaw 24 is from public hearing on April 27th, 2023. Councilors Klassen, Montague, myself, and Mayor Sim were absent for this item at the public hearing and will need to review the proceedings to be eligible to vote. Councilor Klassen, have you reviewed the proceedings?
Chair, I just looking, maybe I'm reading an email here. Oh, you know what? I think I got the wrong date on this one. I saw that bylaw 24 been withdrawn, but it's from a previous meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Montague?
I have and I will.
And I have and will. Bylaw 27 is from public hearing on January 19th, 2023. Myself and Mayor Sim were absent for this item at the public hearing and will need to review the proceedings to be eligible to vote. I have reviewed them. Mayor Sim is absent. Okay, so would someone like to move a motion to adopt bylaws 1 through, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just asking that we call a separate vote for bylaws 6 through to 14.
You'd like to sever 6 through 14 for a separate vote?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so seeing no further discussion, we will do 2 separate votes. So moved by Councilor Carr, seconded by Councilor Dominato. Yeah, so that is for bylaws 1 through 5 and 15 through 27. All in favor? We do this on verbal or do we need to do it on the queue? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none? Okay, so 1 through 5 and 15 through 27 pass unanimously. And for bylaws 6 to 14, we have a mover, moved by Carr, seconded by Dominato. All in favor? Opposed? Noting Councillor Bly in opposition to bylaws 6 through 14. Okay. Okay, so the list of approved bylaws can be found on the city's website. Now on to item 13, administrative motions. Number 1 is approval of form of development 6151 to 6261 Granville Street and 1511 West 47th Avenue. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this motion? Seeing none. Are there any questions to team members? Seeing none. Okay, moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Zhou. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say yay. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 2, mass timber policy for rezonings. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this motion? Seeing none. Moved by Councillor Dominato, seconded by Councillor Kirby-Young. Council, is there any questions to team members? Seeing none, when we have a mover and a seconder, any discussion? All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. And motion carries unanimously. Oh, sorry, Councillor Bly, I see you on the queue. Or this for later? Okay. Item number 3, approval of form of development 122 East 36th Avenue, formerly 137 East 37th Avenue. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this motion? Seeing none. Are there any questions to team members? Seeing none. Would somebody like to move the motion? Moved by Councillor Kirby-Young, seconded by Councillor Carr. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Now, on to notice of council member motions. Are there any notices of council member motions for upcoming standing committee meetings? Reminder to please state the title of the motion and the date of the standing committee meeting on which you intend to move the motion, and be sure to send the title and date of the standing committee meeting via email to the city clerk. Councillor Bly.
Thanks very much, Chair. I have 2 motions for the meeting of April 24th. The first is motion to seek table officer position with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM. And the second is kicking off community benefits for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Great, thank you. Councillor Carr.
Yes, I have a notice of motion for April 24th, supporting the creation of a Canadian Youth Climate Corps.
Great, thank you. Councillor Dominato.
Thank you, Chair. A notice of motion for the April 24th Standing Committee meeting, motion to seek British Columbia board position with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities.
Thank you. Okay. New business. We have 2 items of new business on the agenda today. Number 1, requests for leave of absence as follows. For Councillor Meisner for personal reasons from meetings on April 9th, 2024 from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. For Councillor Meisner for civic business from meetings on May 8th, 2024 from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. For Councillor Kirby-Young for civic business from meetings on April 9th, 2024 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and April 10th, 2024 from 9 a.m. to noon, and May 8th, 2024 from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. For Councillor Carr for civic business from meetings on April 11th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Someone like to move the motion? Moved by Carr, seconded by Klassen. Council, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. Carries unanimously. Item number 2, change to business license hearing panels as follows. That Councillor Bly replace Councillor Fry as panel member for the business license hearing to be held on April 16th, 2024, and that Councillor Fry replace Councillor Bly as chair. Gotta love that rhyme. As chair at the business license hearing to be held on June 18th, 2024. Someone like to move a motion? Moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Klassen. Council, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say yay. Opposed say nay. The motion carries unanimously. Council, are there any other items of new business? And Councillor Boyle.
Thanks. I circulated a leave of absence request, really just an extension for a previously approved leave of absence request to start at 11:45 tomorrow and go till end of day.
Okay. Do we have to move and second that, or can we do it all? Okay. Can I get a move by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Klassen? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none. All right. That passes unanimously. Councillor Klassen.
Thanks, Chair. I am requesting a leave of absence for tomorrow afternoon from 1 till 5 p.m. For civic business, and my hope is that I'm away for as little as possible. Thanks.
Okay, so moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Joe. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none. That passes unanimously. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Yeah, I submitted a new business item for changes to business license panel hearings. I believe the clerk has the motion and the dates. Wonder if it's easy, or would you like me to read it? It was a bit lengthy.
If you could.
You want me to read the whole thing?
Sure. Okay.
Or would you like to do the honors, Chair?
That Councillor Lisa Dominato replace Councillor Sarah Kirby-Young as chair of the business license hearing to be held on April 16th, 2024. Further, that Councillor Adrian Carr replace Councillor Lisa Dominato as alternate to the business license hearing to be held on April 16th, 2024. And further, that Councillor Sarah Kirby-Young replace Councillor Adrian Carr as alternate at the business license hearing to be held on July 17th, 2024. Okay. Moved by Klassen, seconded by Bly. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Councillor Dominato.
Thank you, Chair. Also submitting a LOA for personal business for tomorrow between 12 noon onwards. I may not need the full leave. I just have some personal business to take care of, and I may have to step in and out. So just want to have it as a backup. So thank you.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Joe. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. All right. Inquiries and other matters. Council, are there any inquiries or other matters? Okay, seeing none. We are ready. Motion to adjourn, Councillor Bly, seconded by Councillor Kirby-Young. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none. Showed up just in time, Dan. All right. Okay. All right, folks, we'll see you in camera at 1 o'clock.